Hello everyone! Today we are renovating an apartment for Cosmo and Wanda from the Fairly Odd Parents. We are renovating this apartment called 17 Culpeper House from the City Living expansion pack. And I'm just sort of figuring out the floor plan right now. Originally, I was thinking I would do more of a closed-off entry and kitchen area, but I soon realized that an open plan would be much better for this space. So instead, I go with this really open kitchen, dining, and living space, a small little powder room by the front door, and then in the back, there's a little bedroom space and an ensuite bathroom. So if you're not familiar with Cosmo and Wanda or with the Fairly Odd Parents, I'll just explain it a little bit real quick. It was just like this kids TV show that I used to watch a little bit as a kid, where this little boy had like two fairy godparents, but they called them Fairly Odd Parents, and one of them was named Cosmo. He always dressed in green and had green hair, and one of them was named Wanda, and she always dressed in pink and had pink hair. And so whenever they needed to disguise themselves, like if they were about to get caught or something, they would just disguise themselves into two random objects. One of them would be pink and one of them would be green. So I was kind of thinking that either this is just an apartment that fits their color scheme and they live here together, or, you know, the main kid, Jimmy, lives here, and Cosmo and Wanda have sort of disguised themselves into this whole apartment, if that makes sense. Like they've become the apartment. Anyway, I don't know, I guess I was just in a bit of a silly, goofy mood, and honestly, this was so much fun to build. As far as the kitchen goes, I go with these base game cabinets and counters. They're slightly fancier, and they had a nice green swatch, a nice pink swatch, and a nice white swatch. So for right now, it's like all pink counters and then green bar stools. But I do go in and switch it so the counters are actually white, just because I felt like maybe it was like getting a little overwhelmingly pink. But yeah, and then I'm adding just a little bit of a shelf space here with some pink clutter and some green clutter. I got that cute little leaf painting from Tiny Living and like that llama knickknack from Dream Home Decorator. And yeah, I just thought I had so much fun imagining what these two fairies could disguise themselves as. And then I add a bit of neutral clutter because I felt like I did have to add some neutrals to sort of keep this apartment from getting too overwhelming, if that makes sense. Like I add a bread box and some tissue paper and some fruit. I try to keep the walls pretty neutral as well. Most of this apartment just has like a plain white paint with a little bit of a trim at the bottom. And then as far as backsplash goes for the kitchen, I just did a bit of subway tile in white. And then here I am starting to work on this little powder room near the front. And at first I went a little crazy with that like bright green toilet and the green tiles, but I decided to tone it down a little bit. I changed the tile and the toilet back to white, but I do keep this really fun green and pink sink that came from City Living, I want to say, and this bright pink medicine cabinet from Parenthood. Then I add a bit of clutter by the front door here. A fun touch that I really loved is I added these shoes from Dream Home Decorator. It's two pairs of shoes, one is green and one is pink. So, you know, that's Cosmo and Wanda right there. I thought that was really fun. And then moving on into the living space here, I went with these bright green chairs that I want to say are from the new high school pack, but I paired those with this sort of pale pink couch that came from Dream Home Decorator, and I thought that those went together really nicely. And then back here, I'm adding a little desk area, pink computer, pink fuzzy chair. That's also from the high school pack. And then of course there are a few green accents in the desk as well as with those paintings. And adding a little dining space, I use these green accent chairs and I add a pink flower for the centerpiece. So you may have noticed that like the color scheme for this main area is a little more toned down. It's a little more you know, pastel-y. There's a lot of whites and creams to sort of balance out all of this pink and green. And yeah, I just thought that would make the space a little cuter, a little less overwhelming. The bathrooms are still pretty intense, but I really tried to tone down the color scheme as much as I could in this main area and in the bathroom. And now, as you can see, I'm adding these base game curtains around in a green swatch, but I do change the color scheme. I think for a while I try making them green and blue in sort of an alternating pattern, or sorry, green and pink in sort of an alternating pattern, but in the end I do come back to this space and change them all to white, again just trying to make this space a little more livable and a little less overwhelming, and I do really love the way that it turned out in the end. Add a little stereo out here, and I even add a little television piece. And yeah, just adding some other last minute details out here in the main area before we move into the bedroom and the bathroom. I thought maybe I would add this little fireplace from Eco Lifestyle, but it just wasn't really fitting the way I wanted it to, so I ended up deleting that. I add some poof seating, which I think is always fun, and a big lamp from Tiny Living, ironically. The biggest lamp in the game is from Tiny Living. And then I tried to add a cute little mirror accent piece here by combining a bunch of those mirrors that came with high school years. And then I add 2 pipes to the wall. One is green, one is pink. You know what that means. And then we are moving on into the bedroom space. I initially went with this Eco Lifestyle bed because it's really cute and it's pink, but I do switch it out for this one from high school years, and I've been using that one a lot. I have used that one in this build. I've used that exact bed in like my Sunshine starter home that's coming out pretty soon, and I use the same one in my pumpkin home build that should have come out pretty recently, so I guess maybe this is like an intervention for me. I need to stop using that bed in that exact swatch, but I don't know, I really like it apparently. As far as the rest of this bedroom goes, I went with a little clothing rack rather than an actual dresser. I think that that's really cute. Those came from high school years, and I think they're super realistic and fun. I also added some green wall art and stuff, and just changing a few swatches out here in the main area. And then now we are heading on into the bathroom. So again, using a lot of these really bright pink and green appliances from City Living, and just adding a few more green and pink accents. So we're coming to the end of this apartment renovation. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like or subscribe for more content like this. So thank you for watching. Bye!